And a warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us for another live episode of Conversations with Michael. Let's take our collective deep breath here as we all settle into today's episode. Very good. We come together every month to celebrate a new way of being human. One that has been missing on this planet actually for a very long time. We actually believe the solution to the many problems that face our human family, and they are many, it already exists inside of every human being. But to make that real, we had to take that deep dive into the very core of this human experience. And that, my friends, is not a very easy choice to make. It would be actually much easier to remain unconscious of all the different parts we have played on this planet. It's much easier just to point fingers, to make others responsible for how we are feeling. It's much easier to believe that life is just happening to us without our consent, without our permission, and without our control. And for those that embrace the whole notion that all of us are creating our own experience, it requires, for that to make any sense at all, to look at your life from a very different perspective. One that also includes a multifaceted and multidimensional relationship with all of creation. And unfortunately for the human mind, that's not something it's really capable of perceiving, let alone understand. I shared in my first book, Straddling Your Freedom, an experience I had almost 25 years ago while driving through the sweet town of Eugene, Oregon. I experienced then for the first time a profound sense of feeling interconnected with everything all around me, connected to the road as me too, connected to my car as being me too, connected to all the buildings around me, all felt like an extension of myself. I experienced a reality for the first time that existed outside of duality. It literally left me speechless, as wave after wave of this golden bliss just kept cascading up and down my body. And for the first time for me, my body started to feel formless. At any moment, it felt like I was about to float off of this planet. But something inside of me wouldn't allow that to happen. I felt this overwhelming love for myself and for this earth and for this human family. I had no idea how. But this sense of sharing what I was experiencing brought me so much joy. It served to ground me again to this physical reality. I now believed it was possible from that experience to experience this type of bliss as a human being, and that this very experience was available to all human beings. At that time, I had no idea it would take the form it has, and perhaps if I had any idea that it would end up being what it's become, I might have chickened out. I might have said no thank you. So a major part of experiencing a new way of being human includes what? Well, for me, it was allowing those parts of us that are indeed capable of perceiving a much broader overview of reality. And unfortunately, those parts of us have been separated from this human experience for so long that we almost forgot that they even exist. So my joy, my passion, and service to all of you is to simply share that part of me that is called Michael or Mikael, not as a channeled message, but is a natural part of any human soul relationship. It takes time to integrate the real you. All of us have been relying on the mind for so long that initially it just feels really, really awkward. But at the same time, this allowance to experience being human in a new way, it also offers the most incredible, delicious experience any human being could ever imagine. Well, we must have imagined it because we're feeling it as I speak. So we also want to welcome all of you that are new to our work. I know it's a little strange, it's a little outside the box, so to speak. So feel free to explore our website to get a better feel for what we do offer. We'd like to take this moment to share a few of our upcoming events that celebrate this sacred reunion between your conditioned human nature and your natural divine state. And we put it all together in a short 2-minute video. So let's take a peek. Very good. Feel free to go to our website and check out all these upcoming events. And if you'd like to participate in any of them, you're free to sign up anytime. Some of these are really only made available to those that are choosing to be a part of the Masters Unplugged program. If you'd like to join that program, we offer a 1-month special price for $9.95 to see if it's right for you. And last month, we presented a special live workshop titled The Intuitive Self. It sold out, but you can now rent that class in our own video on demand library. And of course, I've created a nice little preview of that class, and I'd like to show it to you. So the news story has a few requirements. One or two. It takes a lot of responsibility to work with energies, how should we say, that literally create realities. To have at your disposal, at your fingertips, creation. Imagine that. Well, you must have imagined that, or you wouldn't be feeling it right now. Realities that are supported by consciousness. Indeed. Some of you related to the whole letting go of your family as just another exercise. Oh, anybody can say, I'll let them go. It didn't really speak to your heart. So you just went through the motions. But now that you're also allowing the presence of your light body to be in your physical reality, you're beginning to notice some unsettling effects from such a choice. So in part 1 of today's class, we wanted to make it painfully clear why it is so important, and from a higher perspective, how it supports a new love for self, both for you and all the other players in your old story. The news story. The news story starts, well, with the same main character, no matter what form it takes or what role it chooses to play. As a conscious creator of your own experience, you always play the leading role, even if the leading role is playing the victim. That was old story. That story, if you allow it, is gone completely. Completely. How could it be any other way if you're the director, if you're the producer, if you're even the script writer in your own movie, and this is your own movie? You always have a supporting cast, but that supporting cast, they just adapt themselves to your own creation, or if your creation were to be described as your own state of consciousness. How that would feel, pretending to be something that you're not. Well, you don't have to imagine that. For most of your life, you've been living that. You wondered why you felt so uncomfortable. This mind knowing that it's just pretending to be you. Who is you? Soul. And then being held responsible for the human experience if you, soul, aren't fully present. And now it's changing. Yes, it's got sort of those underlying abandonment issues. It's got some of those resentments. It's got all those different emotions to get your attention. Speaking of you, soul. So now the soul has recommitted itself to being in the body. It's reclaimed this vessel to be its own. But that trust between the soul and the mind, would you not agree it's a little fragile? But it's better than what it was 5 years ago. And now when it's presented the honor, truly, the honor of serving your intuitive abilities, it's your intuition that will guide you while living alongside this mental-based construct of a reality. It's your intuition that is also creating an alternate reality, alternate quasi-physical reality, while you continue to experience yourself as being human. infusing it energetically with its own light. To ensure what? To ensure that your current technology and all that will follow and serve your intuition. Let's say that again. That your current technology and all that will follow and serve your intuition. In terms of these codependent relationships that have been supporting your existence for eons, well, that's why it takes a true master to even consider such a choice. Each of you discovered that if you're going to just let go of a known support base, you better have something else in place. Unfortunately, to your mind, it couldn't perceive this new support base. Oh, it has heard you say countless times, just allow. And of course, all you heard back from your mind was, allow what? There's nothing here to allow. And you, my friends, have so much to look forward to. No matter what comes your way, your non-physical counterparts are by your side. But then it was you that said, being by our side isn't enough. So you invited us to live inside of you. Thank you. Indeed. Very good. Very good. So feel free to use our 20% discount coupon, which we offer every now and then, which is good till June the 15th. You can use that on any of our on-demand classes. Let's take that collective deep breath. Most of you are watching today's show from our website, and welcome all of you. But for all of you that are also watching on any of our Facebook pages or on our Vimeo or YouTube channel, feel into the energies of these sacred gatherings where we once reached out to our angelic families for support. Feel the presence of so many of these non-physical beings now existing inside this human experience with so many of you. No longer separated from this physical reality. Let's take another deep breath. And see if you can just relax into this. We're going to end today's show with the breathing video we created in April of this year to help all of you to do just that, to relax. But for now, let yourself feel the incredible support that's being freely offered right now by your own non-physical counterparts. Very good. And as you're allowing that for yourself, I will once again allow Michael to step forward. Indeed, it is I, Michael, and Robert, I'm asking you to take a deep breath and relax, my friend. A lot of energy here today, and of course, my presence kind of amps it all up a little bit, but relax, my partner. Allow me to be more and more a part of this physical experience in slow motion, at least for today, indeed. thank you. I, Michael, in service to a joy that is a natural part of any sovereign creator, in service to the fire of creation, that inner flame, that divine passion that resides within all of you. It is so pure that you almost didn't notice it. Take another deep breath. Very good. And we notice we're being interrupted here. We're going to ask Coca to open the front door. Go ahead and see if the visitors here need any of her attention. Very good. You also found out that these very pure energies, they don't dance so well with all the drama being played out on this planet at this time. All of you have played this same game over and over again, feeling powerless and powerful by denying others and yourself your own freedom. It's a very old game, but with new faces on the same players to make it, well, somewhat more interesting. But something else is emerging as we speak. No matter the cause of this current virus, it's doing what viruses do. It helps to clean out what no longer serves you. And in this case, it's bringing you to your attention a very old game called Follow the Leader, which then would ask, who is leading whom? For the awakened human, it's a deep-seated trust in yourself. And from such a trust, a newfound clarity. One that is not dependent on anybody else's perspective to support your life. One that relies on your own energetic presence to support you throughout all of creation, no matter where you might find yourself. Right now, you're here on this beautiful planet called Earth, the original version. One that is filled with incredible stories and adventures, and as well, a lot of heart-wrenching pain and struggle. But from our perspective, that struggle is truly beginning to wane. Can you feel it, dear ones, in yourself? A type of relief. Simply because enough individuals made a conscious choice to stop playing in games that asked of you to compromise your own unique presence. Oh, from the human perspective, one that feels separated from this energy, we get it. That just sounds like a really good fairy tale. So a few of you took that deep dive into your own inner reality. You discovered something that was quite astounding. You discovered, as Robert did, another version of you. The original version. Let's take a breath there. One that doesn't play the role of feeling victimized by life. One that isn't dependent on anything outside of its own presence for any type of support. One that has no desire or need to consume energies or extract resources in order to support itself. Those that took this deep dive into their own inner reality discovered a new support base that included the presence of consciousness. The search for this very presence has dominated your human experience lifetime after lifetime, but it has always been within you. Now, as we perceive it, it is like springtime on the entire planet. A seed was planted 2,000 years ago in the name of this freedom. It has now emerged. It is new. It is fragile. And like all new seedlings, dear ones, it needs your full attention to ensure its own growth. This seed represented a type of freedom that has been talked about for eons, but very few have actually chosen to reclaim it. It is indeed consciousness in action with your name on it. Now, believe it or not, taking the form of a human being. Take another deep breath. We get it. This can sound like something out of a sci-fi movie for some of you, especially for those of you that are new to our work. But what's so unique about this energy that is now in motion is the state of consciousness that it actually embodies. It's not looking for recognition. It has no agenda whatsoever. It simply is its own self, but in a human form. It doesn't have any supernatural abilities, unless, of course, you would label unconditional compassion as being supernatural. Indeed, then perhaps it does. Or perhaps its ability to demonstrate a degree of patience that seems unlike anything any other human being has ever witnessed. Or perhaps its own inner ability to support itself completely from within its own energetic presence. As we see it, this collective pause that all of you are experiencing on your planet, it offers an ideal opportunity for all who have made this profound choice to allow your own presence to now do the deep dive into your physical body. Wow. Wow. What a bold choice. Without all the usual distractions. And for those of you that have a passion, a sincere desire for wanting to serve this human family, your own divine state of consciousness is your greatest resource. For this beautiful human family is also creating its own shift. One that will be celebrated, while at the same time feared by many. Technology, in and of itself, will help to resolve so many of the challenges that face this planet. But without the presence of your own consciousness, this emerging new technology would not need to develop a mutually respectful partnership with this human family. Feel into that, my friends. Feel into the potentials of such a reality. Because it could literally displace humanity as you know it. And that is why it is so vital for those of you that have awakened to the presence of your soul to allow it now to be present. Another deep breath. We can, from our vantage point, clearly see that most likely potentials, the most likely for all of you, you can feel it as well. Feel into, as we speak, the most likely potentials that you have already created. And when you allow yourself to feel it, you know without all the distractions that everything works out for your highest good. And this isn't just wishful thinking. This, my friends, is conscious creating. As we see it, you would have to work much harder than you're doing right now not to allow the embodiment of your soul to become a day-to-day experience. Just feel into this. Because you have created this. How far into the future do you really need to look before this becomes your new experience as a human being? How far? This summer? Indeed. The end of this year? Yes. And at the very latest, perhaps a year or two down the road? Imagine how your life would change right now if you allowed yourself to consciously feel that it all works out. No more working at it. No more struggles. No more reacting to those underlying doubts, worries, and concerns. They didn't just disappear, my friends. You took responsibility for all those underlying energies by applying what we call the 3 A's. Acknowledge how you're feeling. Why? Well, because that's the first step to becoming responsible for your own creation from the inside out. And then accept them completely. Why? That demonstrates self-love in action, in motion. Total acceptance stops all the denial, all the resistance. And then we offer a radically different type of support, not just for you, but for all parts of you. You simply allow the energetic presence of your own soul nature, your eternal self, to share its unconditional support. This presence ends up becoming your new support base. Ask Robert and Coca how they're doing. It becomes your new support base. No more working at trying to support your human self. That, dear one, should be incredible news. And this is not in your distant future. It already exists in your near future. And for some, it exists as we are speaking, does it not? Indeed. What is the most important experience all of you could choose for yourself as we speak? That's right. Just relax. Will you please just relax? We will do that as a group at the end of today's session. It all works out just as your heart desired. You simply stop claiming those underlying thoughts, those underlying disturbing emotions as being the real you, because they are not. Apply the 3 A's. Acknowledge, accept, and allow. It's really that simple. You naturally would ask, Dear Michael, why are there so many distractions in my life if I'm so close to my own freedom? Why are these thoughts and emotions so present? Why am I so conscious of them? Why do I wake up in the morning feeling exhausted? And some of you are saying to me, it feels to me not like I'm going forward, it feels like I'm going backwards. It feels like I missed the boat. Let's take a breath there. Because, my friends, these are those unintegrated parts of you taking that last breath before they allow themselves to reconnect with the presence of your soul nature. This is not the time to create more drama. This is the time to celebrate. Your soul has actually earned the trust of so many different versions and parts of you. The unintegrated parts of you, they are so present because they honor you. They responded to your call to come back home. Not out there in the stars. You're demonstrating here in slow motion as a human being. Home is here. Here on this beautiful planet called Earth in a human experience. You called them. You invited them to come back to the presence of your own soul nature. These parts of you, they need you, not to react to how they feel. They need you to share what you have already discovered. Your own light. We see it. They see it. Own it. Own it. This is not the time to react to all the changes that you see all around you. You've already done the hardest part. You let go of the family of humanity so that you can serve the family of humanity. Can you not see how so many of them are but a reflection of what you have already discovered? The family of humanity, in their own unique way, is just beginning to question their own reality. And for the first time, from the inside out. You can't go backwards, my friends. No matter how hard you try, you just can't. If you're feeling and hearing all of these conflicted thoughts and energies, in part, that is how your human family is feeling right now, without realizing the solution that you have already discovered. And in part, that is also how other parts of you feel, like echoes from your own past. If this new awareness that you too are spirit, you too are this eternal self, you too are this grand soul, had been placed on the shoulders of your human self, it's not capable of working with all these energies. That, my friends, would have been a very abusive relationship. But your own presence, your own soul, they are fully capable of feeling both the underlying distractions and their own passion for being in this human experience. Not indefinitely, but long enough. Long enough. Which brings us back to where so many of you are today, as we speak. Is now not a good time, my friends, to stop relying on the reactionary version of you? You know, you've heard us repeat this ad nauseum. But now you're really feeling the side effects when you rely on this perception that's in a state of reaction. Let's use Yeshua's words of wisdom here one more time. To be on this world, but not of it. In other words, you can now create any reality you want to experience being human while living alongside a very polarized version of a dualistic system of reality. The seed of freedom, Christ consciousness, has sprouted. Yay! That's the time to go get that bottle of champagne. Pop the cork. Celebrate. Because it's now moving, expressing itself in the form of a human being with your name on it. This is why you left your spiritual families. This is why you left your biological families. This is why you left your old story, to offer a solution to a very old galactic version of reality. Now, this is your time to reap all the benefit from such an adventure. It's time, it is time, dear ones, to relax. It's time to enjoy your life. It's time for the human to finally allow us to do what? To love you back. To love you back. It's time to breathe. It's time to allow this breathing to settle in with this sacred circle we have here today. Let's do that together, shall we?